Hi everyone, I thought it was time for a layout share as I've been finding things to unpack and find new homes for, which by the way is not going very well. I'm more just unpacking and stacking, but we will get there. I thought I would do a layout share. This is one that I did just for last Friday for Mixed Medium Mayhem, and I know it was a Rebecca Moore sketch or kind of inspiration to go from. And then this one was our mystery envelope challenge from Katie Weeks, where she asked us to do a sampler of the Four Seasons autumn papers. And I really like how this turned out. I don't know if you can see the details here. I did shimmer trim and I punched it with circles, and so it makes it into a gem. And this is a 2-page layout that I did. I went ahead, for those of you that always wonder, do you gut and do? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but on this one I absolutely did a little bit of gesso there so that I could have some journaling. But I love the details of this. I was looking at some of the pages that I did years ago, and I really like how scrapbooking has changed and progressed, and that we're able to adjust to new trends but not give up all of our old ways. This was a fun little challenge that I sent out to my customers. I put out a challenge saying who wants to do this, and I sent them these pieces from the old Serenity papers and then some wild berry, and they got to do a project. I did this plus a card. And then this was, oh, I loved this random stamp piece. In fact, I still have the rest of this because I totally gutted this out to do some cards with, and I just haven't done that yet, but it's one of those that I really liked how these random stamp pieces turned out. I added my journaling since I did the video, so these are all album ready. Here is Sandy Patty, and my little guy is only 6 weeks old to the day at that point. Again, I was using the In Full Bloom card making kit thin cut. I did some Cricut cuts, some fun splash and mixed media, and that's on the back of that one. Here is more photos from the farm layout, and if you look behind, there's all the fields of daisy. My husband really does not like daisies. In fact, he doesn't buy live flowers for me, but that's okay. He will buy full plants. Oh, I didn't realize this was a double layout. I took all the rest of them out. Let me do that for you, so you can see these side by side. So that's how this layout comes together. And you know me, I love my daisies. I'm kind of peppering in some of my mom and granddad's old photos. This is from 1946, and my mom is the little baby sitting on the back of the car. This one, there's 18 photos here, but to kind of not have it be so jumbled, I tried to be uniform in all of the embellishments, our hearts, with just a few different thrown in, but the different are of the same colors, so they're not jarring on the eye. And then all of the photos have the same photo mat on that, and I think it just kind of helps you ease the eye. Here is from In Full Bloom. This is a layout in the Cricut SVG files, but I cut it with the current crisp air papers, the butterfly, all the flowers, the berries there. And again, this is my mom's first day of kindergarten photo. How cool is that? This is my graduation photo, or some of my graduation photos from high school. And this was an easy layout because this paper was already splashed with all of the color dots, so that made it fun. Again, I just used the same color mat to unify all of the photos to get on there. Here we have another double page. This one I just did recently, and this is a layout that I saw from Allison Davis, and she had, I think her cascade was different. I want to say maybe it was here, here, and there, and I kind of did the flow up through the page. We have some more boxes coming with pantry units for the new kitchen layout here at our house. And I've already got the family on board of when those come, we need to recreate these photos. Now, this is me and my BFF. We've been friends since high school. And then these are other ladies from the church, and we were on a women's retreat in southern Michigan. We were all from the UP. She is from southern Michigan. This was just a fast, easy layout. Used some gesso to kind of give that snow effect, and then did some splatters, all stickers. I remember this layout came together very quickly. If you happen to notice that my page protector is on wrong, it's because in my storage system here, I stand them up like this, because if I put them this way, there's not enough room in my bucket. So that's why, and there's a window on the front of it, and I like to see my layouts. This is a page that I did. There is a video on it, but I love the little lace sneaking out here. And if you notice there, this is a flip flap that needs to be accessible, and I will show you at the end how I do that. There's two different ways, and I have a little tutorial on my favorite. This layout came together again. I did some random stamping to make that pattern paper. This striped was from the Hope and Kindness collection. Oh, more of my daisies. This was fun. This was just ripping papers along. Did more of those Doyle. Oh, I can see here that my journaling corner is turned up, so I'm going to go ahead and push that down. And just with the weight of the paper, that'll end up adhering back down. I sometimes notice that my leaves get that, so I'm pretty good at going through and checking. Now this actually could be a cousin to that Allison Davis one because of all the stripes along the edge here. I remember at first it was daunting, but I did some hashtags around the outside. Julie Scott is really good at doing that, Craft with Julie. So check her out if you like that kind of doodle edge. She's really good at it. Cut out some suitcases. This is when we were leaving Michigan for the last time to come to California. This is one of the Makers with Heart challenges, and I had fun with it. In that video, I tell you about how you can cut these triangles and just make these sunbursts pretty easily. You can see here that in between the sunburst pattern papers, I went ahead and stenciled some leaves. And now this will come off when I put it in my album, but I'm protecting the kids in their tub time. But this was just a fun, I went back, this is one of my favorite paper packs, Dottie for You, and a friend had multiple packs of it, and she gifted me a whole brand new pack, so I had to use it. Another friend gave me this Borelli embellishment, and it just went so well with this, I had to use it. Here is my boyfriend that gave me my first kiss. I was just 15, shocking, I know. And we went to a Masonic event for a ball. But I love these flowers. These are from the Layered Flowers thin cut, and normally these are open and there's another center that you can do. But I saw somebody that folded them, made them into cone flowers, and I just love that. Here is game night. I had all of these squares from the layouts that I had cut using the Info Bloom thin cut with the, I can't think of the word, the film strip. And so I had all of these from those film strips that I cut, and I thought, we play this game Quirkle all the time, and those squares are perfect. So again, I just used my Cricut and cut colors of the different shapes, and so now I have a representation of the Quirkle pages. This was a challenge, I believe, for 30 Days of Sketches in June for Christy's Beautiful Life Best of 30 Days of Sketches. And I was kind of thrown off by all of this because it was stitching, and instead of stitching, I just glued these floss and ribbons and things right onto the page, stamped some birds in the background, made one little cluster up there, another behind the photos, and this came together very quickly. We just celebrated this guy's 21st birthday, but this is birthday, I believe, 19. We celebrated it out here in California. It might be 18. Could be wrong. Again, going back to old photos, we had fun. There was a water park, just a small one, in a hotel by us. And so in the middle of winter, we would try to book a room and just take a day to go down and play at the water park. That was always fun. And here are some, again, I want to say these were for 30 Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches challenge video. And I just had some fun doing some package mixed media on the background here. The Cricut, of course, cut my Ferris wheel. But these were a fun day that we were having at Santa Monica Pier. You can see the Ferris wheel, couldn't think of that name either, in the background. And so just a fun day. This is when we were still in Michigan and we went to Michigan Adventure, and I pulled the cardstock and papers, this is the Wildberry, from what we're wearing, and it just turned out great. Did some journaling on the computer and printed it out. This is from a stamp, so these are not, me splattering whatever. It's actually a stamp, so you have more control, and I'm good with that. Again, we were in California, and we saw a whale that was blowing his flume right at the Will Rogers State Park there, and it's just south or just north of the Santa Monica Pier from photos you saw earlier, but this was a whole different day. All right, we got another 2-pager coming here. I popped up, I don't know if you can see, I popped up a couple of these photos to make pockets for the journaling. And when they're in a page protector, you can still just reach in and grab that. So these are from La Brea Tar Pits here in California. Just had some fun with it. Ripped edges. I mean, if you've been to the tar pits, they smell, but at least it's not necessarily, I don't want to say dirty, but you have the tar pit feel about it. This was for a Makers with Heart challenge. I believe Jessica sent us these in full bloom papers, or maybe Dawn did, but I embraced Jessica's stitching. She stitches on so many photos, and I took one of the hearts and I put it up there and then just by eye poked around the edge and then went back and stitched it. It's funny, it's the little details, I think, that really help bring a scrapbook page together. So I try now, I think somebody, I don't even know who it was, but you get dressed and then you take off the last thing you put on. For scrapbooking, I get it done and then I go back and say, what more does it need? What one more or two more items can I add on to this? So we tried softball for one summer. It was just a 4-week thing, and we learned that that was not for us, but we have that memory. Look at how rich these papers are. You have these photos with kids in them. There's always so many different colors. We have the black and orange and the red, and here's a pink, and we got purple, the yellow. So to bring all those together, you bring some pages in, and then flowers. Nature can really help you with that. So I was really pleased. I did manage to get the names of everybody there, so I was proud of myself for that. This is from eons ago, but the cut file in white goes over a splattered white base that I framed in black, and then I put the cut file over and just embellished with flowers. Our group we would meet once a month at the church, and then 1 or 2 months out of the year, all that we did for the day and the evening was make cards to give back to the church as a thank you for letting us use their space. This is a layout that I did copying from MK Gun, Some Assemblage Required, and I really liked how this turned out. I was pleased. It was a struggle for me. I had to walk away and come back and walk away and come back, but really pleased with how this turned out. And this using the same papers, I can't even think of what they were called, but all the squares I needed again to get these blues and reds, and they're faded reds, and then you have the greens and the mountain. So I pulled all of those from the paper pack, and again just made the focus the paper with the blue tying into our life vests. Now this here has another flip flap that I will have to open up, but a cut file here for the wreath that you can't really see. Again, this is at the La Brea Tar Pits, and I used texture paint that I dyed with black and charcoal and a brown, I think mocha ink, to really give it that tarry feel, and just kind of wiped it on all of these embellishments that I had put on. I will say, after I had cut the bear and the moose and the turtle and everything, it was really hard to just grunge them up, but I really like how this page turned out. And here we have a scrapbooking retreat. Again, there's several flip flaps on here. This one flips up. This one I can see will flip to this side. And this was a 30 Days of Sketches challenge because I remember these triangle pieces. So just fun with the flowers and the leaves, and there's a tag here that again I will pull out. So now I'm gonna move these off because I'm gonna show you how to attach some flip flaps. So in this particular one, the flip flap is gonna be on the outside of my page protector. So I don't have this in an album yet, and this layout, it does not go along the same time frames as this layout, so they will go into different books. But because this one doesn't have anything to it, I can remove this layout, and then this will end up being a left side page in my book. So on these flip flaps, there's a stripe here that has the glue strip, and I want this one to open this way because I don't want it to cover the flowers when it opens. I want it to open this way. So what I like to do is I actually like to fold the paper under. You can do it this way, and I would turn the photos over, but I like to do them under. So I position it exactly where I want it. It's covering that photo underneath, but not covering this photo. So with my fingers and then my hand, I'm going to hold this down. Start this paper release here, and then you just push it down. I like to use my bone folder and really varnish that in. So now when you're going through the album, it's an interactive and people can see it. Now this one is the way I prefer to do it. This is a double layout, and these are actually attached inside of the page protector. There's actually a slit that I cut in the page protector. I'm going to pull this out here. So here's a slit, and as I slide this in and out, you can see that the page protector kind of just goes right through. I prefer this method because I feel like I'm hiding more of the mechanics behind the other photos. And I have a video on that I will show you next, so you'll get a little tutorial. Oh, once again, I have an edge of paper that's up. Make sure that's down, and life is good. All right, thank you for watching. I will be back Friday with another fresh layout. I believe everything you've seen has process videos if you want to learn more about how I did any particular page, and I hope you have a great day. Blessings. Here's how I like to attach my flip flaps. It's my preferred method. I will do others like putting it on the outside. That's not a problem, but this is my preferred. So what I do is I create my layout and put the flip flops into the layout just as I want them to interact. And then I slide that whole layout into the page protector, and I start by marking with my X-Acto blade the beginning and the end of the page protector. And then all I need to do is put a cutting board or a cutting mat inside the page protector to protect the page, use a metal ruler, and I just connect those two marks that I made with the blade. I used to feel that I needed to punch circles at the beginning and end, but our scrapbook pages are looked at all the time and there haven't been any issues with tearing. And if there is a tear, it's one of those things that's probably only going to be one page protector. You can take that page protector out, again, recut the slit and start over again. I haven't had a problem. So on this right page, there's two different page protectors set up. One is a little mini accordion and one is just a standard, but it's a vertical slice. But it's all the same process. Mark my beginning and end, make the cut, make sure it's clean, and then just pull the page protector through that slit that or pull the flip flap through the slit you made in the page protector. And normally if I was doing this without it being a tutorial, I just would have cut both lines. So there you saw that I was looking to see where my marks were. I'm lining them up. Again, I strongly recommend a metal ruler just because sometimes with plastic rulers or even wood rulers, those X-Acto blades are so sharp that over time they can start to cut grooves into the side of your ruler and then you don't get as nice of a cut. Now here you can see that I'm kind of just putting a slight bend on my page protector in photos. I do have the option of taking those out of the page protector, taking the photos out of the flip flap, and then putting them back in after I pull the flip that through, but you can do however works for you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, click that red subscribe button. Here's another video you may be interested in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.